Next is surface area of a cylinder. So a cylinder is the shape that looks kind of like a can, okay? So it's a little bit weirder to look at, but if you can imagine cutting a can open, there's a top and the bottom, and then there's going to be a rectangle in between. So if you were just to cut it and open it up, you have a circle, and then you have a rectangle, and then you have another circle. So this is what a cylinder would look like if you rolled it open. And so this is essentially the surface areas you're going to have to calculate are two circles. So like this top circle and this bottom circle. And then all the way around here, if you roll that side open, it's just going to be this rectangle. And so the area of a circle, you have two of them, but the area of a circle is pi r squared. And then the area of this rectangle would be length times width. So this side length over here, this is the length of 2 pi r. Now you might recognize that formula because it's the formula for a circumference. And why is this rectangle as long as 2 pi r? Well, it's because it wrapped the circle from there and it wrapped it all the way around to there. So that is tracing the outside of the circle, that is the circumference of the circle. So the width of the rectangle is equal to the circumference. So it's going to be 2 pi r. And then over here, this one's just going to be the height of your cylinder. So however tall our cylinder is. So let's read the problem. It says, what is the surface area of a cylinder with a height of 2 yards? So we just learned that our height is 2. And we also learned that our radius is 2 yards. So radius is also 2. Round your answer to the nearest thousandth. So let's plug it all in. For your two circles, we want the area to be pi r squared. So it's pi times 2 squared. Remember the radius is 2. So it's pi 2 squared, which gives us 4 pi. If we're rounding it to the nearest thousandth, I'm just going to use my calculator that I have here. 4 pi. This is 12.56637. I'm going to round it at the end. So 12.56637. I'll leave it like that. And then we have two circles, right? So we're going to have to multiply this by 2. And I get 25.13274. And I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Okay, so these are our two circles. We haven't rounded it yet, but we'll round it at the end. Let's deal with our rectangle now. Where do I have space for my rectangle? So we learned that the height of the cylinder was 2, so that means that side length is 2. This is 2. This is 2 because this height is 2. And then we just need to multiply the length times width of the rectangle. So it's 2 times 2 pi r. 2 times 2 pi r. Our radius is 2 yards. So we have 2 times 2 pi times 2. Oops. 2 times 2 pi times 2. And that gives me 25.1327. It gives me the same number, which is this is kind of funny, but whatever. So the rectangle actually has the same area as both of the circles combined. Finally, we're going to add it all together. Add your two circles plus your one rectangle. And then I'll just write it out here. 25.1327 plus 25.1327. So we add it all together and it gives you 50.2654. And now we can round it. After you've done everything, now you round it to the nearest thousand. So thousandths is 3 decimal places. So looking to cut it off right about there. So 4 is a small number, so the 5 stays as a 5. We're going to have 50.265. Final answer. 50.265. Oops, sorry, I dropped the calculator. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. Okay, let's do another one. We have a bigger cylinder here. All right, so once again, you have 2 circles. You have this one and you have this one. And then you have this thing that ends up being a rectangle once you roll it out. So let me draw that out here. We're going to have 1 circle and a rectangle and then another circle. Okay, they're supposed to be the same size. Let me try to, there we go, that looks a little bit better. So this is your cylinder when it's rolled out, and we're going to calculate the surface area. So our 2 circles is pi r squared. So we have pi, what is the radius? Radius is 5 centimeters. And that gives us 25 pi. I'm going to type it in my calculator. Actually, yeah, I'll just do that first. 25 pi. That gives me 78.53981. And then this is 1 single circle. So we have 2 circles, so we must multiply this by 2. And that gives us 157.07963. Okay, let's leave it like that. So we have 2 circles here. And now for our rectangle. So for the rectangle, remember this side length is 2 pi r. It's equal to the, well, that did not look right. 2 pi r. That's equal to the circumference of one of those circles. And then the height over here, that's the height of the cylinder. So they told us that is 7. So when you're doing your one rectangle, you're going to do length times width. So it's 7 times 2 pi r. Oops, and we don't write r. We're going to write the actual radius, which is 5. So 7 times 2 pi times 5. And I'm going to type that into my calculator. And that gives me 219.911485. Okay. So finally, we have our 2 circles. And we have our 1 rectangle. Let's add it all together so that we get a total. So I'm just going to write it out over here. 157.07963 plus 219.911485. Just going to add it together. Oh my God. Add it together. Let me type it on my calculator now. And I get 376.9911158. Okay, so we're going to answer to the nearest thousandth. That is 3 decimal places. So I'm looking to cut it off after that first one. And since the following number is a 1, it's a small number, we're going to keep the 1 as a 1. A lot of ones that I said. So it's 376.991 is our final rounded answer. Okay, so before I submit this one, are there any questions? Okay, so that's it for this category. I'll see you in the next category.